Hi everybody, it is another Wednesday and I'm here to talk with you about some things and topics that I think might help you optimize your life. Because isn't that in the end what we're trying to do, is optimize our lives. This week was a little bit of a crazy week. I came in to the weekend with the intention to talk about one thing and then things happened and now I feel there's not much else on my mind right now, so I think I'm going to talk about that. It's amazing how life just throws you a surprise once in a while. You know, you can plan one thing all you want. You can make the plans, pay for the plans, arrange everything, and then that fast things can change. So some very sad news. I know, not personally, but my daughter knew somebody who lost a friend this weekend to suicide, a self-inflicted suicide. And it's been very hard to hear about, and I'm worried for my daughter and all their friends and the family of the young boy and his brother and the grandparents. And of course, it's one of the hardest things I've ever really had to get my head around because it's never really happened this close to home for me. And I feel so bad for my 16-year-old daughter who's really just dealing with this now at the wrong age. I mean, she's 16 years old and she's having to deal with this tremendous loss of a friend. She's very close friends with their best friends, so it was all the same circle of people, different school, but these two schools, these kids hang out together and they all know each other and it's from our community. And it's just been on my mind. And you know, my first reaction, of course, was just to hug and kiss my kids, just tell them how much I love them and remind myself how important it is to just occasionally, even when it's awkward and your kids are like, shut up, Dad. Just say, how are you? Are things okay? Are things okay at school? Are you feeling good? Are there any feelings of impending doom? Or boyfriend issues, girlfriend issues? I think, you know, I am very communicative with my kids. We have a great open relationship. But really, it made me think, when was the last time I actually sat down and said, hi, is there anything else you want to talk about? And because things go off and life happens and there's 4 of them I'm trying to deal with, and they're all dealing with their own little mini worlds, and I've got mine to deal with, and my wife's got hers. And so, I mean, my first instinct was to just hug them and kiss them and love them and tell them how much I love them, and I don't care if they're not in the mood for a kiss, they're getting one right there on the face or on the head or whatever it is. And then when they went to sleep, I couldn't help but just look at them and just wonder a little bit, it's such an opportunity to refocus our lives, isn't it? I mean, we're always looking for the right time. Oh, I don't want to start that diet. It's not the right time. I'll wait till after the holidays or after the wedding, or I want to look good for the wedding. Use it as a motivation. Sometimes the same event, for instance, can be used as an excuse or as a motivation, right? The wedding. It's an excuse or a motivation. You want to motivate yourself to lose your weight and get healthy so that you can look great for the event. Or you could even say, no, I'm going to start after the event. I'm going to wait till after Christmas. I'm going to wait till after New Year's. I don't want to have to not have a good time. I want to enjoy myself. I'm going on a cruise. I'm going on a vacation. It's so-and-so's birthday. What about the office party? And oh my gosh, I forgot we're going away in April. And well, what am I not going to eat? And everything gets in the way. So this was an opportunity, I think, for me really just to focus in on a little bit more. I mean, it's all part of my self-development, just like everybody else. We're trying to get better. We're trying to improve ourselves to some degree. And it got me thinking a little deeper, a little bit more profoundly, why maybe I should not yell one more time per day. You know, maybe just calm down a little bit. I saw a client the other day, yesterday, and he was telling me about his day and why he just had a horrible day. He came in a lousy mood. It was like 5 p.m. It's 2 days ago. Feeling bad, not just. And we sit down like, dude, what's going on? He's like, I had a shitty day today. It just started off on the wrong foot. I got out of bed, whatever. Everything was fine. I get into my car. I stop in. Somebody steals my spot. Right then and there, I was like in a rush. I was running behind time. I went into Timmy's because the lineup for the drive, and somebody stole my spot. So I had to go all the way around the other building, and then just set me off on the wrong foot a whole day. And then I got to work and things didn't go as planned there, and there was like a surprise meeting, and my friend who I work with on this project wasn't there, so I had to work twice as hard, and boom, 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 boom. And all really started because of the negative energy he brought to himself for putting so much weight into a parking spot. I mean, how ridiculous is it when you really think about it? How we let something so minute, something so insignificant. Do you think at any point, even in 10 days, looking back on the week that you've had, you'll remember fights you've had with your spouse. You'll remember beautiful moments that your kids did something sweet, or an accomplishment, or an extreme failure. Do you think that parking spot is worth anything? Do you think it's valued at anything in your life? Yet you give it so much power. We give it so much power. We let it literally ruin our day. A parking spot. Because you don't want to walk 20 car paces away. Or you have to wait a second while some moron sitting there with his light flicker on decided, I'm not leaving. He just had his flicker on. Yeah, these things happen every minute to every person. But is it enough to ruin our day? I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, it can. We've all had a cup of coffee get ruined by putting in the wrong ingredients, or we've had a project that just kind of went down the toilet that we've been working on, or an investment that we lost money on, or we have things that affect us every single day that are big disappointments in our lives. And those are pretty big. And maybe they deserve a little bit more weight. Maybe it's okay to be upset that something you've invested a bunch of time and money on didn't pan out. That's okay, that's normal. You're allowed to have a shitty day. But a parking spot, or a misserved coffee, or a look that somebody maybe gave you, or you're beating yourself up because you had an extra cup of coffee that day. These aren't things to ruin our days over. These aren't things to say, I'm fed up, I can't do this anymore. Because there's some big, real issues going on out there, and there's some people who are really being tortured internally. This poor boy, 16 years old, was so tortured by all of what was going on in his life, none of which I'm aware of. And it was so bad that at 16 years old, the only way out was a permanent one. He couldn't get his head around what was going on, and he couldn't manage it. And we're ruining our days over a cup of coffee. We're ruining our days because the elevator took too long. We're ruining our days because our kids didn't pick up something that we told them to pick up 1,000 times. Is it worth ruining our day over? I don't think so. And I think we start out with, this is a chance for me. I'm taking today as the point of the wedge. I've spoken about it before. There's a point of the wedge. And at the point of the wedge, it's the easiest moment in time to make a change. Because you're feeling passionate and empowered. And there's a reason why you're feeling these things. Because the feelings that I'm having right now, they're right. These are the right feelings to be having. I should be taking this and using it as a tool to better my life. To make sure my kids are okay. To make sure that I'm okay. Even self-love a little bit. Check in with myself and see, is everything okay? Ask my wife how things are going. Beyond, how was your day at work? Beyond, we have to plan for this or we have to pay for that. But how are you doing? You know, we haven't connected like that in a long time. Who cares if it's the wrong time? It doesn't matter if your kids answer, stop, leave me alone, I don't want. Just do it. Reach out. Take that extra moment for that. Instead of getting freaked out about the socks on the floor, or the shoes in the way, or the garbage thing that wasn't brought in, or dishes left out on the counter. Now, I know what you're saying. The truth is, it's easy to say right now because the way I'm speaking and I'm putting it into a particular perspective, right? What if I switch it around a little bit? Because it's not just the socks on the ground. It's the socks and the dishes and the garbage bins, and you forgot to hand in your test, and you were rude to your sister, and it all adds up, right? It all adds up. And by the end of the day, we want to explode. And we all have, I have, God knows I have. I can become very angry dad, and it's not a proud moment for me, but it happens. And it's trying to make it happen less. And that's been part of my journey. I'm sure when I was younger and I was a little less wise, I guess you could say, I would freak out more. And now I'm starting to kind of rein it in a little bit, you know? On one hand, are they really that important that I have to lose my marbles over something ridiculous? Granted, that's usually just the straw that broke the camel's back, and it had been accumulation of other things, but still, my kids and wife don't deserve to get the wrath of crazy daddy. They don't deserve that just because I had a shitty day. And maybe my kids also had a bad day that day. Maybe they're dealing with 100 little tiny things that are just getting to them. And maybe they're not able to navigate through it all. Maybe they're not able to manage it all. Just like us. I mean, every single member and client that I've ever worked with has issues that we are dealing with. I mean, whether it's food, there's often a psychological element to it, and a history, and sickness, and fears, and anxieties, and insecurities. We like to think we're unique in our fears and our insecurities. You know, I was talking to my sister today, and what were we talking about? It made so much sense at the time. We were talking about my other daughter, 7 years old, who's having some trouble navigating on the street with some of the other girls. Some of them are mean, and she's like, oh, and she was really upset that she didn't have just one person on the street, like her one best friend from the street that she can rely on. And she was complaining that she wanted to live on the same street as her best friend from school, and I felt for her because I had some of the same. I didn't have a best friend that I could rely on. There was always different groups. I was talking to my little sister about it. It turned out I also had that problem. As it turns out, a lot of us had these insecurities. They manifested themselves differently and they appeared differently, but they were all very much the same. Insecure kids trying to navigate through this new social existence. And you can't explain to a 7-year-old that this friendship from the street is meaningless. It doesn't mean anything. And you're going to meet friends in high school and university and in life that are really going to take a bigger chunk of importance in your life. And not to put too much of a weight on this one, but that you can't. Because this is the only element of their life they understand. This is all they know. They can't look that far. They can't even see tomorrow sometimes. So I think sitting there and talking to her through this insecurity and realizing that I still have these insecurities and praying and wishing that my kids didn't have to deal with the same stuff I dealt with. And then coming to the realization that we've all been dealing with that all our lives. All of us as kids had these problems, and we all had them, whether as children and adults, we've all just got them. And I guess that's just, it's part of the human condition. I guess it's the way we prepare ourselves to deal with things, you know. Dealing with these little social situations on the street with some mean girls helps her to navigate through life so that as an adult she can handle bigger situations and negotiate real conflict. And so, to wrap it all up, today I'm using it as a stepping stone, as the point of the wedge, the easiest moment it's going to be. It's not going to get any easier than it is right now while I feel passion and emotional. That I'm going to try to make a little bit more of a change, take a bigger step forward. I'm going to even eat a little healthier. Why not? Because I've been a little bit cheaty lately around my kids. We've been having some fun. And while I'm using good healthy ingredients, I've been off the wagon a little bit because I'm not working out as much, my hernia operation and all that. So I'm going to try to eat better, and I'm going to try to be nicer to my wife and children. And I'm going to make sure I tell them that I love them every single day, even on the days I already told them 100 times. And I'm going to kiss them, and I'm going to squeeze their cheeks even when they say I'm too old for that. And until they literally can push me away, I'm going to keep on coming in, and I'm going to tell them every single minute of the way how much I love them. So those moments where I do freak out, well, they're not going to weigh as much anymore, right? Because I'm tipping the scale in the love side, and I want that love to take over. And I want to make sure that they know how much I love them, and I want to make sure that everybody out there knows that it's important to tell the people you love that you love them. And that could just be the one I love you that takes them through that day. One nice word can take somebody right off the edge sometimes. The right word at the right time, sometimes that could save a life. And if it doesn't save a life, at the very least, it can spark a conversation. And at the very, very least, you can put some good positive energy into the energy bank so that when you suck it all out on your next freak out, well, there's still going to be some left over. Everybody doesn't forget completely that you love them. And so that's it. I mean, it was a little bit emotional today, a little bit awkward. It came around, I think. But that's what's on my mind, and I wanted to share it with you because it does relate to all our lives, and it's serious stuff, but it's important to come to terms with these feelings and apply them to different parts of our lives, because we could all use a little bit of positive reinforcement once in a while. And love doesn't hurt. The Beatles have been singing about it for 60 years. thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I hope I touched a chord, and I'm always available to talk. You can always reach me at jasonspilberg.com or 514-887-1543, or you could even go to myoptimizedlife.ca. Have a great day, everybody, and try to eat well, because if you eat well, you'll be well. And then you'll just be, well. Have a great day.